The medical lights were cold and blue. Machines beeped softly in the background. On the metal table lay a human soldier, motionless. His armor was melted. Half his chest was gone. Blood had already dried. The smell of fire still clung to him, alien. Dr. Kavur stood still, for hands resting behind his back. He had seen thousands of injured bodies in his career, but this one was different. Vital signs, he asked. No pulse, replied the nurse. No brain activity. No regeneration. Time of death, Kevor asked. 16 minutes ago. Kevor sighed. His long fingers pressed the screen. The report flashed. Subject, human, male, age, 34, cause of death, plasma rupture. Wound to chest. He turned to his staff. Prepare the pod for disposal. Tag him as non-recoverable. The nurses nodded. One began sealing the stasis cover over the human's face. Just before it closed, Kevor stared into the lifeless eyes of the human. Something about them felt strange. Not fearful, not surprised, just calm. To calm. 4 hours later. The morgue was dark and quiet. The human body now lay inside a cryochamber. Nothing moved, not even the air. Then a twitch. At first, it was small, a finger on his left hand, then another, his hand clenched. A light blinked red. Inside the chamber, his chest, what was left of it, began to move. Not much, just a tiny lift. Like breath, the sensor lit up. Weak heartbeat detected. No machine had restarted him. No medical help was given, and yet the human's body was waking up. Medical lab, alarm level 3. Emergency caver burst into the lab. Eyes wide, tail twitching with confusion. You said he was dead, he shouted. He was. The nurse replied, no signs for hours. We followed. Procedure. They stared at the chamber. The human was now breathing, slow but steady. His eyes were still closed, but his body temperature was rising. Broken tissues were shifting, bones realigning, muscles twitching under shredded skin. No nanotech, no serums, Kevor muttered. This is not possible. He leaned closer to the chamber's display. The readings made no sense. His cells were duplicating at a speed faster than any known species. He's healing, by himself. Data report, glitch or miracle. Over the next few hours, Kevor ran every scan available. The machines failed to give a clear result. One report showed genetic instability. Another marked unknown cell behavior. A third one simply flashed red. ERROR. Data beyond recognized. Limitskiver shook his head. This isn't healing. This is ... something else. Other doctors arrived. Scientists, observers from the Galactic Health Council. He should be dead, one said. This breaks every law of biology, said another. Kevor didn't respond. He just stared through the chamber glass. The human's body was slowly putting itself back together. Strange dreams inside the chamber. The human began to move. Not much, just slight muscle spasms. But the brain scans showed something shocking. Active REM sleep. He's dreaming, said the nurse. But that's not possible. Not in his condition. Kevor's voice was soft. He is not dying. He is surviving. On instinct. On memory. On something deeper. Flashback log. Battle summary. A recorded file played on the side monitor. The human soldier had been part of a joint unit. During the last skirmish on Zaran 6, he stepped in front of a plasma blast to protect 2 wounded crewmates, 1 alien, one human. The shot tore through his armor and body. He fell instantly. Everyone believed he had died a hero. No. One expected him to still be breathing. Asterisk, Dr. Keva hadn't slept. His 4 fingers trembled as he sipped his 3rd cup of stir-root tea. He stared at the human's chamber screen like it was a riddle he couldn't solve, and maybe it was no patient had ever been recorded with 0 signs of life, only to return hours later and begin healing without any treatment. The machines didn't understand it. The other doctors didn't believe it, but Keva saw it with his own eyes, and now it was getting stranger. The pulse grows stronger. The human's heart wasn't just beating anymore. It was stabilizing. His lungs were filling more deeply with each breath. His skin, burned and broken, was regrowing slowly, like time itself was reversing. Muscle fiber reattached where nothing should have survived. Even the exposed bone had started to regenerate. KVAR ran more scans. Pulse rate 51 BPM. Oxygen absorption, normalizing cognitive activity, rising nanotech detected, unknown-eased, no machines, no injections, no implants, just the raw biology of a human doing the impossible. Outside, the medical wing news was spreading. Whispers filled the hallways of the space station. Is it true he came back from death? Humans, are they hiding something? Some medics feared what they didn't understand. Some scientists wanted to study him further, but others, they wanted to control him. Internal surveillance footage. Ekova sat in his office, reviewing private camera feeds of the chamber. One recording made his eyes widen. Time, 3:22 standard hours footage. The human's eyes opened for a moment, his gaze fixed on the ceiling. His lips moved slightly. Keva replayed it 10 times. The mouth was clearly saying something, but there was no audio. He called in his assistant. Can you read lips? She nodded and leaned in. A moment later, her face turned pale. He said, I'm not done yet. The council arrives later that day. The Galactic Medical Council arrived at the station. A tall, pale alien named Verak stepped into Keva's lab. We received your reports, Verak said, and we don't believe them. Keva replied calmly, I didn't ask you to believe. I'm showing you what's real. Verak narrowed his eyes. What's real is dangerous. The council demanded access to the chamber. They wanted to take the human for genetic dissection. KVAR said one word. No. Private meeting with Earth Command. Kova secretly contacted Earth's diplomatic channel. A hologram of a calm human woman appeared. Her eyes were sharp. You're the doctor, she asked. Yes, Keva said. Your soldier. He's not just healing, he's changing. The human woman nodded slowly. Then it started, Keva asked. We always suspected it would happen, she said, but not this soon. We call it the breaker response. Keva leaned in. What does it mean? She looked directly at him. It means when a human reaches death, something deeper wakes up. The human moves back in the pod. The human's fingers moved again. His breathing grew stronger, then suddenly his eyes opened fully. He sat up. Machines around him beeped and buzzed. Confused by the readings. KVAR and 2 nurses rushed into the room. The human looked around slowly. His voice was cracked and dry, but clear. Where am I? Keva stared in silence. You were declared dead, he said softly. The human laughed once, then winced in pain. Wouldn't be the first time. Data glitched. A system tried to record the new vitals, but nothing worked. His body gave off 2 different DNA readings. His blood was regenerating cells, not even in the station's medical library. The software crashed 3 times. The computer flashed. Unknown species detected. Please, Reskankova whispered to himself. He's still human, but not the same. The human sat on the edge of the medical pod, wrapped in a heat blanket. Tubes dangled loosely from his arm, no longer needed. His chest still showed scars where the plasma tore through, but the skin had healed far too fast. Dr. Keva stood nearby, silent. He had treated thousands of injuries in his life. He had seen advanced surgeries, nanobot healing, and cloned organ replacements. But nothing like this. This wasn't science. It was something beyond the human speaks what's your name. Keva asked carefully. The human looked up, his eyes sharp despite his pale face. Sergeant Reed, Earth Command. Recon Unit 9. You died, Keva said softly. Reed smiled weakly. Happens more often than you'd think. You had no pulse for hours. Your organs were failing. No tech was used to revive you. Reed stared at him. Then maybe you don't understand what humans are. Observation room, council watchers behind. A one-way mirror. Counselor Varric and his team observed the conversation. He's dangerous, one whispered. No species should recover from that kind of trauma. Varric nodded. Begin protocol. We need his blood. We must learn how he survived. It could be a weapon. Another council member warned, what if it's not something to be studied, but something that awakens only in crisis? Varric narrowed his eyes. Then we need to trigger that crisis again. Private chat. Reed and Keva. Reed rubbed his chest and looked at Keva. Do you know why we're like this? He asked. Kvar. Shook his head. No, please explain. Reed's voice was low. We evolved on a planet that tried to kill us every day. We survived ice ages, volcanoes, predators. We didn't get stronger. We got smarter, tougher. We learned to heal fast, or we died. Keva listened carefully. Reed continued. But it's not just biology, it's the mind. When humans break, something inside us refuses to stay broken. Keva whispered, your body remembers pain and fights back. Exactly, Reed said. We're not designed to win battles. We're designed to survive everything. Unauthorized blood extraction attempt that night. While Reed rested, a group of alien medics entered the lab quietly. They claimed they were there to monitor vitals. They lied. One inserted a long extraction needle into Reed's arm. The screen flickered, heart rate rising. Suddenly, Reed's eyes snapped open. His hand clamped around the medic's wrist like a trap. The room went still. Didn't ask for a blood test, he growled. Let go, the medic whispered, trembling. I was dead 2 days ago, Reed said coldly. I'm not afraid of needles. He let go. The medic stumbled back. An alarm triggered. Keva rushed in. What's happening here? Reed looked at him, calm but firm. Ask your council. They're not just watching anymore. Earth responds later. That day, Keva received another encrypted message from Earth Command. Status confirmed. Subject, Reed, has entered early stage breaker mode. Keva blinked. Breaker mode. The reply came quickly. It's a human condition triggered by death-level trauma. Pain resets our limits. DNA starts reprogramming. We don't evolve over time, we evolve during crisis. Keva typed quickly. Is it dangerous to others? The response, only if you try to cage it. Council plans to move. Reed Verrock called an emergency meeting. We cannot allow this human to return to Earth. If he carries this mutation, it will spread. We'll quarantine him, another said. No, Verak replied. We take him, study him, control him. Earth won't allow that. Verok smiled. Then we'll act before they can respond. Reed feels it coming that night. Reed couldn't sleep. He sat up, heart racing, muscles tense. Something's wrong. He muttered cave. Var found him pacing the room. They're planning something, Reed said. I can feel it. My body is changing. Kaveh looked into his eyes. You're not just healing, you're adapting. Reed nodded. I can hear more, see more. My skin reacts to light. It's like I'm becoming something I wasn't before, Keva whispered, and it all started with your death. Asterisk, the lights in the medical wing flickered. Lockdown alarms echoed through the hall. Sergeant Reed stood still, watching the door. Keva was beside him, breathing fast. There. Coming to take me, aren't they? Reed asked quietly. Keva didn't speak. He just nodded once. Reed didn't move. He clenched his fists, and small sparks of static ran along his arms. I'm not going anywhere. Council forces move in outside the lab. Armored guards gathered. One heavily armed. The order from Councillor Verak was clear. Take the human alive. If he resists, neutralize. They believed they had the numbers. They believed he was still recovering. They were wrong, inside. The Librid turned to Kaveh. I don't want to hurt anyone, but I won't be taken. Kaveh looked into reedseyesharp.com, focused. You're no longer what you were, the doctor whispered. Reed replied, I don't think any of us are. Suddenly, the wall monitor blinked. Incoming message, Earth Command, urgent, Keva, accepted the transmission. A familiar female officer appeared in the hologram. Dr. Keva, listen closely, she said. We've reviewed the recent vitals. You're seeing the beginning of cell shift phase 2. What is that? Keva asked. Something old. She replied, something humanity locked away. A hidden chapter of human evolution thousands of years ago, the officer explained. Humans went through strange jumps, genetic bursts, during plagues, wars, mass starvation. We thought it was natural selection, Keva said. It wasn't, she replied. It was adaptive rewriting. Our cells don't wait for generations to evolve. They rewrite during trauma. Reed is proof of that. Keva leaned closer. You're saying his DNA changed because of the wound. Not changed, she corrected. Remembered? This reaction is buried deep inside all of us, but it only activates in death's shadow. The guards breach, the room a loud blast shook the doors. Council forces were breaking in. Reed turned his head, eyes glowing faintly. Don't do this, he said aloud. No one heard him but Keva. The door blew open. Gas filled the room. Red light spun. Reed stood still. The transformation begins. The gas touched his skin. Something unexpected happened. His muscles tensed. Veins pulsed. His heartbeat doubled. Then slowed. Then his wounds vanished completely. Keva stared in disbelief as Reed's skin glowed under the lab lights, absorbing the gas like air. He wasn't resisting it. He was feeding on it. The first clash, one of the guards fired a stun pulse. It hit Red directly. Nothing. He didn't flinch. The next moment, Reed moved, not like a fighter, like a storm. 3 guards hit the wall before they even saw him. He didn't kill them, just disabled, precise, controlled. Keva whispered to himself, he's not just stronger, he's smarter. The attempt to escape, Keva, Reed said. If they take me, they'll turn this into a weapon. Keva nodded. Follow me. I know a way out. As they moved through the back corridors, Keva activated an old supply tunnel connected to the hangar. But as they entered the final door, another group blocked their path. This time not soldiers, but scientists from the council. One of them stepped forward. We don't want to harm you, he said. We just want to know, what are you? Reed looked at them. He spoke calmly. I'm what happens when you push a human too far, and we don't break. Keva makes a choice. Kova stepped between Reed and the scientists. No more tests, he said. No more cages. This man is proof of what your council tried to suppress. You're making a mistake, the lead scientist warned. Keva didn't move. I already made one, he said. I declared him dead. The stars outside the shuttle window drifted silently. Earth was still hours away, but Sergeant Reed wasn't thinking about home. He sat in the co-pilot's seat, his hands still glowing faintly from the transformation. Kivo watched him from across the cabin. You're quiet, Kivo said. Reed looked up. I'm thinking about what? Reed stared into the darkness of space. About what happens next. Because I don't think this ends with me. Back on the station, Counselor, Verax stood in the ruins of the medical bay, his hands trembling. In anger, you let him escape. He yelled. The scientists and guards stayed silent. He's changed, one of the medics whispered. More than just healed. Verax's eyes narrowed. Then we'll hunt him down. We can't let the galaxy see what a human really becomes. Another council member leaned forward. But what if there are more like him? Verax's face turned. Pale. Then we're already too late. Encrypted message from Earth on the shuttle. A secure message came through. Keva opened it. It was from Earth's highest medical authority. The message was short. We've seen the scans. You were right. Reed has entered full breaker phase. Reed raised an eyebrow. So, that's what we're calling it now. Keva nodded. The breaker phase, triggered by near-death. It resets your biology, makes you more. Red sighed. I didn't ask for this. You didn't have to, Keva said. It was already inside you. Arrival at Earth. The shuttle touched down on a classified landing pad far from the public eye. Military officers stood at attention. Scientists and generals surrounded the area, waiting for the one man who had done the impossible. Reed stepped out first, not a hero, not a monster, something in between. Earth's response. Reed was taken to a secure underground facility. Doctors scanned him again and again. They tested his strength, speed, and thought patterns. Every result broke their expectations. They finally stopped testing when one machine overheated and caught fire mid-scan. You're no longer just human, one doctor said. You're accelerated. Reed didn't respond. He wasn't angry. He wasn't proud. He just felt ready. The Council's mistake back in deep space. The Galactic Council made a final decision. Declare humans a biological threat. They evolved during trauma, Varak argued. We can't allow this to spread. Some alien leaders disagreed. They saved allies. They didn't attack. They escaped a lab and fought our guards, Varak shouted, because you tried to cage him. One shouted back. Silence fell in the room. The Council was no longer united. Fear had already done its damage. The broadcaster sent out a galaxy-wide message. No weapons, no threats, just truth. One of our soldiers was wounded, protecting both human and alien lives. He died, and then he lived. Stronger, wiser, changed. We did not hide this. We did not unleash it. But now that the truth is known, you must understand one thing clearly. We don't evolve for power. We evolve for survival. And if the galaxy ever threatens that survival again, remember Sergeant Reed, because he was just the beginning. Final log back at the Earth facility. Keva sat alone in his room, recording a log entry for his homeworld. I was sent to study humans. I thought they were unpredictable, reckless, and emotional. Now I see they are more than that. They are memory in motion. They are war and peace, mixed into one body. They don't evolve to lead. They evolve to outlast. And when pushed to the edge, they don't break. They become something you cannot explain, something you should never underestimate again.